I actually want you to talk about everything HENTAICON.
Oh shit!
so
Welcome to another episode of the Soju Bomb podcast. I'm your host, Anthony ORQUE. I am also joined by our Prince of the Philippines, Mr. Marvin SQUARENOODLES.
Dang, gotta work my way to the king, bro.
He's gotta work his way up to his kingship again. And then of course we have our we normally have a third person, but I believe Kim got a little bit too turnt last night. There was a couple of events that he was attending, so it's pretty crazy. You know what I mean? Like you can't keep the party out of the person. So
Seriously.
yeah. So wherever you are, Kim, we hope you're well. Reach out to us, send us an SOS if you need help. So today's episode is a very, very, very special episode because it's the first time that we have anyone other than myself, Marvin, and or Kim on the podcast with us. So for me personally, there are no words to introduce this person. He holds a very special place in my heart personally, because we've done so much good work together. I've learned a lot from him personally. This guy is an OG in the anime / esports / events scene. If you've ever been to any anime convention after party, more than likely you've either seen this person or he's running that event that you're at. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our very first guest on the Soju Bomb podcast, Mr. Richie Edquid. Let's give him a round of applause.
We do the Princess wave. We get the elbow motion.
Nice. All right, so Richie, how you doing?
Doing good. Little audio hiccups, but we're here.
Yeah,
we're recorded
live
live
here. We're recording live in quarantine. So
exactly.
God, it's
hell yeah,
freaking hot there in San Diego right now. Yeah.
Yeah, heat wave.
Yeah, no
Jesus
kidding.
Christ.
It's actually starting to heat up here in Vegas too.
Yeah.
I think it's like the high 80s right now. So I've got the fan running in the back too. So. Anywho, all right, so we have our first special guest. This is kind of the first time that we're doing this piece.
Right.
And so, Richie, before we get in, so one of my things with having guests on the show is to kind of share how each of us knows you. But before each of us goes into our story, are there any quick facts or fun facts about yourself that you wanted to share before we dive deep into these heartwarming stories that we're about to share?
So completely unrelated to my past. I just had my last day of coding boot camp on Friday, and I started coding on Monday.
Congratulations.
Hell yeah!
No one saw that coming.
No, not at all.
Well, hopefully I can make the Soju Bomb website. You know, that's the plan.
Let's go!
Hit me up in June.
So down.
The internship's over. We'll make some moves.
For sure.
Hell
Yeah, dude. We're excited for that.
Good shit, man. Yeah, I'll definitely. You're definitely one of those people I'll have on speed dial, anyways. I mean, you already are on speed dial. So yeah. Okay. So, I guess I'll go first because I was the one that asked Richie to come on here. Okay. So, how myself and Richie know each other is through a very convoluted set of hoops and loops. That okay. So. How he and I met. Okay. So I don't know if you know this, Richie, but I met you before you even knew who the hell I was.
Yeah, I still feel bad about that.
No, it's okay. I introduced myself and you were like hella preoccupied. So backtrack to 2016 HANADOKICON. That was my first HANADOKICON ever. And I was invited because of my because me and my boy Lance were starting to do our boothing series. So we'd gone to like a bunch of SoCal cons coming out here from Vegas. And so we had boothed at that HANADOKICON. Made some friends. That's when we met Nerdy Bit. Shout out Matt. That's when we met
Nerdy Bit.
Oh, dude, he's
shirt. Hella
yeah, nice. Go check out Nerdy Bit.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah, they got some fire ass
Let me get
merch.
the hat.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah. But at that time, the only thing that they were known for, this was before they had merch, dude. They were actually just doing their bead art. I remember that. Because, they only had like their bead art and everything. Like, So anyways, so we were boothing right there with him and we're like, dude, like we don't know what to do. And he's like, oh, hit us up after like con shuts down. Like, well, let's kick it. And so since they were really like our first con friends, me and Lance didn't really know anyone else there. So we hit them up after the con closed down and then we're like, all right, so what's going on? And they're like, bro, there's this lit ass industry party going up, going down upstairs in the presidential suite. And I was like, what the shit? Like, people like that? And here I was a freshman. At the time, my position at Sabacon, I had just gotten the vice chair title. So I had I'm a noob in the con scene, right? And I didn't know nobody for nothing. So when I hear presidential suite and when I hear industry party, I'm like what the shit? Like, damn, you're connected, bro. Yeah. So we get to that room, right? He's getting like mad texts and everything. And so we leave his room, go out the hallway. All of a sudden, just outside the elevator, pops open. You see Marvin Square Noodles before Square Noodles even existed. You see Megan Yee. You see John Square Noodles and a couple other cats. And these guys come out, and Marvin's like, "Oh, my guy, right?" Sorry. Matt says Matt uses other language that I cannot share, but. Yeah, but he says, "Oh my," and then Marvin's like, "Oh Matt," and he's like, "Oh, we're just about to go up to Richie's party." And that was the first time I heard Richie, and then Marvin's like, "Oh no, dude, like it just got shut down," and we're like, "No." So we're like, "What do we do?" We're like, "I don't know, we gotta find something else to do." So we go back into the room, kick it there, and then essentially that's when I met Marvin. Actually, that was the first time I met Marvin. And he and I kicked it that whole night. He ends up getting a text saying like, "Oh, there's like a taco party. You go to this taco party. We meet Alandi." And then that was the first time I saw Richie. And Richie was like, he was at the bottom. I don't know if he got tacos. Did you get tacos? Did you end up getting tacos? I don't remember because all I remember was Alandi saying there was tacos at that party, and we're like, shit, yeah, I'm down for tacos. Yeah. End up getting there, no tacos, so we ended up like twerking on Megan. It was pretty crazy. And then we go outside, out to like the deck area, and then that's when me and Megan were talking, and then Richie was right behind her. And then Richie was like, like, what are you guys doing right now? And we're like, oh, nothing. It's like, oh, just come up to the room. We're like, are you sure? Like, everyone just got kicked out of this. Yeah, it's my room. So everyone decides to go up there. Yeah, everyone decides to go up there.
I remember being popped and going to the patio and just being like, man, that sucks. Just getting air, like cooling off. Yeah, all
it literally looked like you were like decompressing, dude, like cooling the jets.
Steaming.
Yeah. So we walk over, but then it was like hella late. And I think Marvin and Megan were like, I think I'm going to call it a night. So I was like, oh, let me walk you guys back. Yeah. Go back to Marvin's room. That shit's locked. From the inside, and we're waiting outside. Essentially what happens is like, those hotel locks, like where you can't like digitally unlock it. It's the hard lock.
Oh yeah.
Where it keeps the door closed. Yeah. That thing was on, so we're like, shit, man, we don't know what to do. And then Marvin's like, yo, like maybe we could just kick it with Richie. And then we go upstairs, and then I introduce myself to Richie. So, and then after that, he ends up finding out. I don't know if this was like a clout thing or anything, but he ends up finding out I'm the vice chair for Sabacon. And then he finds out that I'm going to LA, and then he invites me out to round one. And then that's the first time we had beers. I watched him play DDR. Fun fact about Richie is he's a former DDR champion. #fight me.
Yeah. I was sponsored, but I didn't win the tournament. I was freestyle, not a perfect attempt.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. Dude, so that's so crazy, dude. That's crazy.
So that was my story of how I met Richie. Richie, do you remember any of that?
Bits and pieces now. Because I remember being outside in the patio and just being like, "Fuck, I got busted." And then I remember Marvin telling me how like they were like, "You guys were locked out." So it's like, okay, I finally have all the pieces because I wasn't sure if that was all the same night. Or if that was like different years.
2 separate nights.
No, they're all the same. Yeah, no, that was all the same nights. It's still crazy.
Hell yeah!
Because
all right, cool. I'll go and popcorn over to Marvin. Marvin, how did you first meet?
It's crazy because I actually before I go on to telling my story about like what with Richie is I actually want to add on more to the story in terms of this night, right? This one singular night that I didn't realize that Jesus Christ. That's how we kind of all not met per se, but how we end up being kind of close together.
Yeah, that's how we got close. I remember.
Yeah. So one thing is that Richie, like to this day, like I love saying this, how Richie threw the best 2-hour party.
2 hours.
2 hour.
That's all you needed was 2 hours.
Yeah. Like completely changed my mindset on how a hotel party should be like held. It's great because it's like the thing is that there's two types of con parties. It's like the Richie way, and there's the Shushkan way, which is like, you know, everybody's so worried about getting kicked out. And then they're like, start shushing like shh every 30 seconds. So it's just like fucking story, like fucking bedtime stories all around. Everybody doing whisper voices. Right? They're whispering inside the room and we're supposed to be turning up and like we're just drinking in silence. I'm just like, this is not a party, right? But the difference is that like Richie's room party, it's just like, I'm gonna have like the loudest music, subwoofer and all, right? Fucking loud, like drinks all around, like have fun. There's like fucking like drinks on the counter, like help yourself, right? There was a barista even to the point where like, because we wanted to ration the freaking alcohol, but Richie threw this 2 hours. It started at 8, so I'm just like, all right, cool. It starts at 8.
Early.
I'm like, right, because you know, it's
Hanadoki
like there's no content.
There was no nightlife.
Right.
Wow.
So it starts at 8, and I'm like, cool. Like I'm gonna get there around 9:30. I'm like, show up fashionably late, right? Fucking got there, had like the best 30 minutes of my life, right? And then boom, kicked out. It's like, dude, but the thing is that me enjoying that party for 30 minutes, I'm like, holy shit, that was like the best. It's like I'd rather take this, have a good ass party, right? Get buzzed, than get kicked out.
Yeah.
It's just a whole better story than saying, oh yeah, we just kind of whispered in silence for 6 hours. I'm like, no, dude, it's like, I want to get kicked out. You know, it's just like,
six hours of church. Just whisper to each other.
So because of Richie, it's like, because of Richie, I started throwing parties the same way he did it. It's like,
nice.
Sure, like hearing about it now, how Richie is like really, really sad how he got kicked out after 2 hours. But I genuinely, like everyone I talked to there genuinely had like the best time of their lives, like in terms of like the party.
Yeah, we're still talking about it 4 years later.
Yeah,
so, I mean, it's that good of a party.
I can't get over that. I can't get over that party, dude. But yeah, going back to the question of how I met Richie, the thing is that Richie and I were part of this group of friends. And it's so crazy because like people would always mention the name Richie, right? I'm just like, who's this Richie guy? Like I need to know him. And then like out of nowhere, people would just be like, yeah, he's throwing a yacht party, right? And I'm just like, oh, cool, a yacht party. I want to be part of that. And then finally, nighttime falls around. I'm not sure when this was, Richie, but it's probably like Hanadoki Con or something. One of the conventions.
Yacht was Kanji.
Kanji, there you go. Anime Kanji in San Diego. Oh god, those two doesn't even exist anymore. Hanadoki and Kanji.
Nah, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
But yeah, so it was Kanji, and I'm like, oh cool, yacht party, right? And then I showed up. This guy showed up, right? And it's just like he was in a tuxedo, but the problem with us, it was also a pajama. It was a pajama tuxedo. That was the first time I met Richie, and like I knew right away the moment I met him, this dude showed up in a tuxedo pajama. I'm like, we're gonna have a good time. So that was my first time meeting Richie, and I had a great time that night. That was fun.
Yeah.
So
any context
Richie,
to that yacht story, Richie? Like what? Like how does one even throw a yacht party? Like how did that even come to be?
Let me context the presidential suite and then the yacht.
Okay.
Yeah. The presidential suite, like Martin brought up the subwoofer. That's how we got busted. So I don't know if you want to show in video later. I could dig up the schematics of the room. The presidential suite comes with 2 side rooms. So it's like, all right, we're going to lock the side rooms. That's our buffer, for neighbors. Like across the halls, this were on the top floor. There was like no one, right? But the security comes in and is like, hey, the floor underneath you is like really pissed off because their ceiling is vibrating. And I was like, oh shit. So it's like we can't recover from this. That's why I was just like kicked out because it's like, nah, dude, you can't keep it quiet. And then so my friend that was DJ was like, I'm never bringing a subwoofer to a hotel party again. I'm so sorry. It sounded sick until we got busted.
Yeah, dude.
And then as far as the yacht goes, oh man, I used to call it anime Yahtzee.
Anime Yahtzee?
Yeah, because it's on a yacht at an anime.
Is there a flyer for that?
I'll dig it up later.
Oh man, all right.
So a suite at the Sheraton Harbor Island, like the Sheraton with the harbor.
Yeah.
So first of all, the hotel has a harbor, so there's boats, and so like a suite at the actual hotel was $400, but on Airbnb, the yacht was like $350 a night, so it was cheaper to get the yacht in a hotel suite. So I was like, hell yeah, no one does this shit.
Nah, that's lit.
Like as far as I could tell, I was the first anime after party on a boat. Like there was just some East Coast group that like did it, but like years after me.
That's this is the otakus with attitude. That's them.
Oh no, like party. Before that. Well, as far that's that? Like a real event though. Like they're doing a real like I'm talking about just like a random after party thing.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I did wanted to team up with him for like Anime New York, but we're stuck at home. But that's the dream. You know, if we could link up with them and like a yacht next to Anime New York, because Anime New York, like the convention center, is right next to a like harbor. Yeah. So we could rent a yacht. I looked it up at ALA. Because I was talking with some friends, like, yo, we could do this. We could rent a yacht. We could throw a club on a yacht.
Oh my god!
So, dang, I would love to break down like your party planning process. Yeah. Well, I mean, everything's moved to 2021. # RIP 2020. I'd love to like freaking break down like your party planning process. Because so just a real quick tidbit, and then we'll go into the next segment before break.
For sure. What's
it called? So, how I knew Richie was too OP for the party scene was CES. And like Marvin, have you ever been fortunate enough to come to CES with Richie?
I actually have not been. CES is one of our events that I have actually wanted to check out. Yeah. But never got the chance to since it's in Vegas, right?
Yeah, it's in Vegas the first week of January, I believe, typically. Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, CES is the Consumer Electronics Show. It's like the Comic-Con but for tech, and it's hosted here every year. But yeah, just long story short, this fool coming in hot with like the spreadsheets and like these like getting the legit ass connects. Like I was like, okay, I thought this guy was like hella OP for like the weeb scene, dude. This guy is like 10 times that in just like the regular after party scene. Like I'm talking like normal functioning humans watching a dude in a red octopus kigu walk around and take pictures at their fucking party and like blow it up. Like that's how OP this fool is. So
oh my god.
I think that's so the year where like I forget the company sponsoring, but they're sponsoring. It's like we didn't drink enough alcohol because like they had to pay for the venue. Like okay, so all the drinks are free. The drinks are sponsored, so it's like Spotify is buying you drinks and shit during CES. Like CES is like amazing after parties, right?
Yeah.
So the sponsored events like we need to drink more. We need to like pay off the bar tab. Like he was like freaking out. I was like, hey, can I start ordering like top shelf? I was like, all right, give me the 20-year whiskey. Like, you get the top like you need to get the step ladder. You know, like get that bottle up there. I'm like, yes.
Dang, he hooked you up with that good shit. Oh my god! All right. So we're at 20 minutes right now. I'm gonna probably cut this part out. I'm probably gonna cut this part and edit. Do you guys Richie? Do you want to go into how you met Kim before we go to break, or do you want to wait for him to chime in?
Yeah, we'll just record another episode with him actually.
Yeah, Kim actually here.
So all right, so those are essentially mine and Marvin's how we know Richie stories, and I know we want to dive deep into Kim, but obviously he's probably passed out on a pillow right now. So I feel like I definitely want to give him his fair share of stories with Richie. Yeah. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go and cut to break real quick, and then after that we're gonna go and dive into some of the major topics. So we'll be right back.
Yeah, sounds good.
right, and we're back, gentlemen. How was your break?
Oh, it's pretty good.
Nice.
The problem.
How much of your tea did you go through, Marvin?
Dude, I could not hold on to my fucking drinks. I literally just chugged that shit like down. That's why we always have to do these breaks. I always tell Anthony like, yo, we gotta do these breaks because I gotta use the restroom. Yeah.
Oh man.
But that's it.
I think what we should do is we should have like a donation fund for like Marvin's. Like we should do is get you like a big ass jug of like your milk tea and then just have it like in the back.
Like, just do like a long ass straw.
Like a camel pack.
Oh yeah, seriously, dude.
Hell yeah. All right, cool beans. So so getting into it, obviously.
Huh?
Oh,
You're still in LA, right?
Yeah, I'm in LA right now.
Yeah, you could. Laboratory gets like the home kits for bobas. You could get like 25 pounds of boba and 5 gallons of tea.
Oh my god.
Put that shit in a water cooler, dude.
Get a keg.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ. I'd be sad for
Sorry.
You're good.
You can keep going, Anthony. I just don't want to bring that up.
no, it's all good. It's all good. That's good to know because I think what we'll do is when we record live sessions again, when the world's done being over, we should definitely get like a bunch of that shit.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, like then spike it up with soju, bro.
Oh my god, let's go, baby.
Thanks for the info. I'll check that out.
Yeah, exactly.
Very tempting.
Gotta feed the addiction somehow, right?
Seriously. Yeah.
Nice, good shit. All right, so talking about, oh man, just it's so interesting. I don't know if you guys find this interesting, but it's very eye-opening to me because I know like how we met Richie at like all these crazy after parties is like how we meet him, but getting to know him has been like kind of that's been a journey in itself and a huge pleasure for me because I've learned a lot.
All right,
yeah.
So
yeah.
So that it's crazy that you say that because Richie actually we were roommates. We became roommates. Like I don't know, like there was an opportunity to live with Richie, and we lived together for like a whole year. But the thing is that one thing about me and Richie is that we just, even though we were roommates, we still only know each other on a con perspective. We don't we don't know. Yeah, out of that whole year, we only ate twice. But we've always partied like in convention, but we've never like when we got to our own place, we would just have our own little station and we would like not even talk at all. And it's like it's weird because it's like even though he was roommate, I didn't know him personally. I knew him in like a very still like he's like my con friend, which was very weird. Like I don't know what it was about Richie, but it's so hard to get to be very personal with him because it's like whenever he gets the chance, he just turns it into like a freaking party thing. Like it's hard to be kind of like emotionally like involved with him. Like, cause again, he's basically like this guy. All he cares about. Well, no, I shouldn't say that, but this guy is just like whatever goes in his mind is like, how do I make this more lit than that? So it's like the idea. Yeah, how can you?
Dude, that's so crazy that you say that because like literally like, and I don't know how long it took to get to this point, but like. I consider Richie to be like one of the closest people I confide in. Like there's not a lot of people that I can say that I fucking vent to. Like, okay, I think how it started was like, it was just one day me and Richie were in the car together. Like I was either at his house or something. Like I went to visit him. And then he just started like venting. And I was like, oh shit, like is this our time? Like let's go, baby. No, honestly, because like I don't know about you guys, but like when it comes to like bros and stuff, like it for me personally, like it takes some time like building a certain level of like trust and like building the relationship to be able to get like a bro to be able to confide in you.
Oh, for sure.
And here Richie is like, you know, after going to a couple cons together, me seeing him in action, and then he's like, yo, like, you know, I'm going through this right now. I was like, whoa, wait, what's going on? What? And like, it was a whole different side of Richie. And that's why I was like, damn, that's so crazy, Marvin. Cause like, I would say like how I know Richie now, it's like, it's probably like 70% like that, and then like 20 to 30% like con stuff, because con stuff like con and after party stuff I feel like comes second nature to Richie, in my personal opinion, based on how I've seen him do stuff, and that's saying something because we've ran a con together, you know what I mean? So like his natural instinct to like get shit done, like when it comes to planning stuff or when it comes to executing things, is so freaking impressive. And that's why, going into our next topic, kind of talking about like what the post quarantine life is gonna look like. He and I were talking about this early this week, about what we were thinking about doing once kind of like quarantine's over. And I'll tell you what, this motherfucker is such a like a sleeper strategist that bothers me. Dude. Like he has so much good shit. And again, I don't know if this podcast has just turned into like gassing up Richie like times 10 or whatever, but like I've been, okay, look, motherfucker, Richie, I'm looking right at you at your at your camera from 2080, all right? I'm looking at both of you right now. I have been waiting. I'm looking at both of you right now because I don't know which reality each one is in.
Actually, I want to take a picture of what.
Yeah, just let me take a picture of this. But
what Richie said.
As I look into all four of your eyes, I have been waiting for the moment where I could actually talk about this type of stuff. And, you know, based on the conversations you and I have privately, you know, you hear it from me a lot, but having Marvin here and I guess our audience as witnesses, like there is so much smart shit that you say. And it's like, drinking with this guy, partying with this guy, fucking crying with this guy, like I don't understand where it all comes from. This fool's just so fucking smart, and I keep bugging you. So where do you feel that you get most of your like advice and experience from? Because that's something that I wanted to dive into a little bit.
That's tough. So experience. Yeah, you want to talk about that first?
Yeah, please. I want to talk about your experience because
early last decade. Yeah. So early last decade, when I was in college and like that period, like afterwards, I used to have this saying where it's like, I feel like I'm living enough life to have like 7 lifetimes at once, because I had just had my hands in like so many projects, so many organizations, like so many scenes that I was like connected to, where it's like, at one point I started to see a lot of the same building blocks and a lot of things. So like a con, it's going to have an organization, and it's going to have a hierarchy. And then, you know, like a corporate business is an organization, a hierarchy, and like goals. Yeah. Like it starts to become the same, even though if you're in a different subculture. So I kind of like broke that down and tried to cross apply like lessons from like all these different scenes I was in. So that was kind of like my life philosophy, where it's like, I could probably learn something, like here and now. Like it could be six friends on the couch, and it seemed kind of boring, but maybe I could learn about how people of those different backgrounds are interacting, and that's a lesson. So if I meet someone in the future with the same background, like I could connect with them because I met someone like them in the past.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. It's so crazy that you say that, because like so when you're talking about identifying like patterns between like different organizations, like that's, I 100% believe in that. Hence why myself, Marvin, and Kim, our dumbasses, decided to start a podcast, because it's like, you know, minus the technical stuff, like all the skills that we've gotten accumulatively between the three of us to be able to like put on something good, it seemed like kind of second nature. And I love that you brought that up, because I can't agree with you more, and that's like such a solid philosophy. Yeah, but Marvin, do you have anything to say about that? Because that's so freaking...
No, I mean...
Did you know any of that about him?
Well, the thing is that, like, again, I don't know a lot about Rich's past, and the only thing I know about him was when we first met in Anything Forward. Because, like, again, I think the reason why that is that generally, at that time, I was so focused in building the foundation for Square Noodles. And he was very much involved in a lot of things. I remember having, like, that 2 times we had dinner together. We talked about, like, that's when I got to know Richie in a more, like, what the fuck he's doing in, like, that present time. And this guy was working for a company, and this guy had 3 titles. Like,
Yeah.
and what's crazy is like, usually you would have one title and then two are like, kind of iffy titles. He had three major titles. He was running three different departments. I'm like, how the fuck did you do that?
Yeah.
This was the party company, Richie, right? I remember you I remember you saying like, this guy, they fired this guy, so I'm like now in charge of that department. And I'm like, I'm working this department, I'm also working this department. And I'm just like, how the fuck are you doing all that shit all at once? So it's just like, that gave me like a general idea of like how Richie works in a sense that he's very much capable and just has a lot of experience all throughout to be like really, really valuable in a team. Because like again, like how you were saying, like again, this is just all Richie Gassop hour right now.
Yeah, there you go. Let's go, baby. I've been waiting for this. This is all a trap. Fuck the podcast. This is what this is.
Yeah, so it's that whole idea that like he would just say, he would just add in little ideas that just make things better. And like that's his whole motto. It's just like, oh, we have the technology for that. I was just like, oh shit,
Yeah.
So that was
how oh, sorry, I didn't mean
no,
to
you're
cut you
good.
off.
Like that's the thing. It's like it wasn't until now that you would talk about Richie, and like when other people talk about Richie, and like made me feel really, really bad that I'm just like, what the fuck? How come I never knew Richie from the past? It's just like, what the fuck? It's like Richie and I has always been cool. Like we've always like partied together. Like we've like had like a lot of our ups. Like we had a lot of ups, some downs, but for the most part, like I really like love the fact that me and Richie were close. But it just made me sad that I just didn't know the
like that side of it.
the past, the past Richie. So it's just like if you could just elaborate where. Like how you kind of move up to where you are now, Richie, from, for example, like you said, like from the past decade, like once from college to where you are now, like were you able to get your connections going? Like where did you started? What was your kind of like, who were the influential figures in your life? And then like what kind of like little aspect that you took from everyone that helped you and build you to where you are now? Like I'd love to hear all that.
Can I add to that question too? Because that's something that I've been wanting to. He and I have had an iteration of this conversation, but not to like this spirit bomb level type question. So let me just add the deer energy to it too. How does one become Richie?
Yes.
Like
seriously.
Got his ass to check. Because like so listen, the suits and the white glasses didn't just happen, okay? Like how does that start? Like you don't just you're not just
white
this enigma in the con scene.
Okay.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So 2008, I had gold glasses. And then before that, I had like 5 pairs of glasses so I could match like my suits. But I first discovered Zenny Optical, and I was like, all right, I have red, purple, pink, brown, yellow glasses to match my ties.
Yeah.
Like I went way too extra back then. And then I think it was like 2003 where it's like, I'm gonna start dressing up now. I think
nice.
I broke up with like my first and only girlfriend, and it was like, you know what? I need to present myself better.
Sure,
like at the time, like Metro as a word came out, I was like, I'm gonna be Metro. And then I just stuck with it and like iterated like different outfits like ever since then. So that's explained that part. Jeez, man. All right,
well, get started in the con scene.
You could edit this how you want, because I don't know how long it's gonna take.
Hey, just go all in, man. I'll work with whatever you give me, bro.
So in 1999.
Let's go, baby. This is 21 years ago. Let's go, son.
I was in high school. And then I got involved with like the import car scene.
Ooh.
Different things on the internet, like like Asian scene. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
So it's all these like forums and stuff, and then
Yeah.
this company in San Francisco is like, hey, we need people to like cover these import like card night events. So I went out and was doing that, and then I linked up. Jeez. All right, I can't remember exactly, but then I became a club promoter. So I had Thursday night
In high school.
In high school, so I was a senior in high school. Yeah, because I would take the flyers to like these import car shows, and then my brother Vince started like DJing, so he would DJ the nightclub, and he was like like a sophomore in high school. So we were doing that. So that's always. So I've been doing events for a very, very long time.
Nice.
I was doing that. I went to college, got really involved with like the API, the Asian Pacific Islander community. Started volunteering for the San Diego Asian Film Festival. So through them, I was Vince would call this like Black Ops. So it's basically special events. Like I did a lot of the catered food pickups. But but also we did a lot of taking care of VIPs and stuff. And like my favorite story from there is one time there was this director from Korea, and it was his birthday during the festival. So the festival director is like, "Hey, show this guy a good time," you know. So we're like,
"Oh damn,
I don't know what to do with him." So I had my friend, and she was able to speak Korean. He's like, I want tequila. I can't get good tequila in Korea. So we went to Food for Less, bought tequila, and hung out in my friend's apartment. And he was telling stories about how you get bullied in high school in Korea, and everyone's like mean and beat up on you. And then he became an artist. Like, wow. So through that's how I got kind of used to like celebrities and things, where it's like, oh, you know, you're on network television, you're in movies, but then I can have like a one-on-one connection to you because you're a person.
Yeah, they're just people too.
Yeah. So that's where I got like that skill. My first AX was 2006, and then that like blew my mind, where it's like, oh, here are my people, you know, type of deal. So in 2007, which AX historians call like the lost year, because AX was at the Long Beach Convention Center, and it was a shit show. It was a damn shit show for everyone. Like the lines were out in the sun, like the Long Beach Pike. I think that's like the mall next to the convention center. Everyone ran out of food. So he couldn't walk to food because so many people came to AX and none of the restaurants were ready.
Oh my god!
So everything was a mess. But then my booth was lit as fuck. I was like one of the first booths with like a DJ, and then I had like go cosplay dancers and
wow.
Like, I'm still looking for this photo.
Can you imagine?
Of my cousin as a gender bent Link making out with like a Final Fantasy cosplayer, which is my ex best friend's ex-wife. Still looking for those photos. Booth was lit. So I had a cosplay like commission company, but that fell apart. That's entirely too long of a story. So fast forward 2 years, 2009, San Diego gets his first anime convention, and Vince was staff. He brought me along. I became the first sponsor for that con, and then the following year, I became the marketing director. And then I became a division head and part of the executive board for the nonprofit. And then AX bought Kanji. The SPGA took over Kanji. I ended up volunteering for SPGA, doing their training and orientation. So I recorded their sexual harassment video and did the voiceover work. Yeah.
What? You still have that?
I'll have to dig it up.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and then I got fired. So how I got fired? I was in Vegas. Okay, so I was in Vegas in the nightclub, right? Like Live Rabbit Live or something. Do you know the club?
Yeah,
that one. Yeah. So I'm there, and the place is wild. Like a drum corps came out, and, like a guy in a frog suit. Like this club is just random. It's like a random ass club experience, right? And at one point, there's women with like nipple tassels because they're presenting bottle service, right? So I put that on my Instagram, and then AX gets mad, and I was like, dude, I recorded the video for sexual harassment. Like, number one, they're legal. Number two, it's their job. Number three, there's implied consent because the club has a hashtag. The club wants you to take video of all the crazy things because it's part of their marketing strategy. Like, no one's getting hurt here. Like, no one was like inappropriately like anything. So it was like a political move because what I was told was the CEO at the time was mad at my yacht parties because no one would hang out with him. Because I had like Faku, Crunchyroll, like the voice actors were on my yacht, and you could see the yacht from his hotel room, from his hotel suite. So he would look down, he's like pissed off. So the entire that whole thing was a plot to like get rid of me, and then he was fired from AX. Conspiracy. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Damn.
So that's
so crazy.
Some of the history.
Yeah. Oh my god. It's dude.
So after being let go from AX,
that I call the purge.
Yeah. So like I had 2014 was kind of like a lost year. I was like, dude, what am I doing with myself? Like all my friends are at cons, but then I'm not actually part of the industry anymore. Mm-hmm. And then I ran into a friend who wanted to start like an anime streetwear brand. Nice. And then I got a job doing taxes, so I actually had like money. So fun fact, ALA was supposed to do a flyer drop for me it was called Dime Boy for this clothing company, and they forgot. And so that like killed my business because we put all like our entire launch plan was those flyers to our website, and it's like we just died out after that.
Oh my god!
Yeah, but that was the year where it's like the first hotel party I did with Kim. Then
hell yeah, at ALA.
Yeah,
at ALA.
Yeah.
Wait, where was ALA then? ALA was Ontario already.
No, not yet.
Burbank.
It was no Marriott. LAX Marriott. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So we did. What's that hotel that gives you free drinks during happy hour? Embassy Suites.
What? Wait, no, wait. I didn't know that. Wait, which one?
Yeah. Okay. Embassy Suites. Okay, so you know how the DoubleTree gives you free cookies?
Yeah.
So the Embassy Suites like give you free drinks. Like 3 to 5. You just bring your hotel key card, like tap it to show that's the real card, and then you just get drinks.
Can we get sponsored by them? Holy crap!
Right?
Jesus.
Yeah. Damn, that was. Oh man, I think like Sean Wasabi was DJing.
2014, you said?
14 or 15.
Yeah.
It's hard because ALA is at the beginning of the year, so you kind of think of it as the year before or after.
Yeah.
Oh,
how have you? Holy crap! I don't think I've ever heard. Okay, so the story. So backtrack for context sake. The stories that I've heard are like not that. I didn't know a lot of that in detail. Have you ever shared those stories before? Holy crap!
Talk with so many people. This might be the first time it's like recorded. I said like
Sure.
the entire. So okay, so I probably said bits and pieces, but as far as the timeline going and like the people involved, like man, SPJ was a mess. They seem more organized, and I don't know if it's because I'm on the outside now. But as far as the people I have left in there, I think the organization is doing what they can with what they have.
Sure.
But man, there was.
Well, back in the day, because I remember Kuya Ben, shout out Kuya Ben, my cousin, he would tell me stories about like old SPJA and like kind of how, because okay, to my understanding, AX was like kind of the split off from Fanime, right? Like back in the early 2000s, part of like a Japanese anime fan group at like San Jose State or something, right? Something like that.
It used to be Anime USA or something. Was the mother con in the family tree of cons?
Yeah, to my understanding, I'm sure you'd know more about it. And then I hear roughly around the time that you kind of got booted out of AX, like a lot of people, like probably the 3 to 4 years after that was like one from what I call the purge.
Yeah,
of when a lot of like
departments
the OG
walking out, and
Yep.
OGs coming out.
Yeah, a lot of the OGs that kind of made what AX what it was, and kind of like, because a lot of them, as we know, are like sprinkled throughout the SoCal, and then this is just for SoCal, kind of the SoCal southwestern US region of like con running staff, right? And so a lot of them came from that camp, you know, obviously yourself included. So it's just so interesting to hear like kind of the backstory of that, because not a lot of people know that type of stuff, you know? All right, so we're going to go and jump into a quick break, and we'll be right back. All right, and we're back. Okay, so just before we cut to the break, we were really diving deep into to Richie's backstory of how he got involved.
The lore.
Yeah, the building the lore, you know what I mean? Honestly, I feel like, and I've said this to Richie so many times, I feel like this is some fucking HBO Vice documentary type shit that
Through Hollywood.
And again,
yeah, hell yeah, dude. Have you like, has anyone ever offered to like fucking like documentary style your life for like a con?
So 1AX, there's this documentary crew, right? And then so I'm talking to this guy, and it's like, I asked him straight up, all right, is this a documentary or is this reality TV? And he's like, oh no, it's a documentary. You know, like we're just gonna follow you around. So it turned out to be reality TV. He like wanted to script a bunch of things. It's like, dude, you have to come at least 1 month in advance, because he's like, oh, I want women taking their shirts off, blah blah. Like, I can't. You don't just force that. Like,
Yeah.
like people take their clothes off because they want to. If you're forcing it, then you know, like not only is it not real, but it's like against like my values and my characters.
Right.
Like, don't come at me with that, and don't be disappointed.
Yeah.
Because you said documentary.
the sexual harassment video for
Right.
Yeah, exactly. You know? So it's like, first of all, I kept missing like all the high drama. Like, there was a suicide attempt that like I rushed to my friend's house to make sure they're okay, and then like I had a friend crying about their cosplay. Like, those are like real, true emotions and like real documentary shit. But he only wanted to see a bunch of lit things that I didn't even know.
Stuff.
Yeah, but which is fine. But like, if I asked for a reason in like production, like I'm about production value. I steamed the background to get the wrinkles out for you guys. You know?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I got natural lighting, a ring light, another light, and a backlight for the backdrop, just for you guys. You know,
Dude, you don't understand. Like, I felt, and I don't know, Marvin. Oh, wait, hang on. I just got a message from Kim. Hang on. Let me see if I can get him on. Want to jump on? Okay, because so Marvin, just before we started recording, I was telling you, I was like, dude, I feel really bad because like Richie spent hours. I'm talking hours, and I was there with him the whole way. I was like, bro, like you don't have to go all out, man. Like,
You're right.
You know what I mean? Like, you can just record on your phone.
As a guest, you know. I don't want to be the weakest link, bringing your guys' show down. You know? That's the
Go on.
Do it right for my friends.
Oh no, you're Richie. Come on, you don't even have to try.
Oh my god.
But yeah.
But I am Richie, so I have to try.
Yeah, it's like a little contradiction from me right there.
Yeah.
But
God damn, dude, that's so crazy. Because I was like, oh my god. So in the spirit of that, then, because I was like, dude, you're spending like fucking hours on this shit, right? So I was like, let me talk to Marvin and Kim. Maybe we can have you on like as like a monthly correspondent or something, where we can have you just drop in, since you already have the setup anyways, and we spent all this freaking time setting you up. I was like, dang, man, we should definitely figure that out. Yeah. So so I guess up to present date then, I kind of want to talk a little bit about what you've been working on, and then kind of what's happening after, like, let's say like post quarantine plans for yourself, or like what you have going on for yourself. Like, what are you working on?
Okay, as a joke with my friends, it's like, hey, like my birthday party is gonna be this event we're buying together. But in reality, so yeah, my birthday weekend. My birthday was April 19th. The event was supposed to be April 18th. Thanks.
Belated.
At ALA this year, I had some DJ friends come up to me and say, hey, I'm really interested in doing an event where it's like the people in my hotel room. So the people that are interested in this music scene that does show up to cons, because sometimes cons will book them as DJs, or maybe like Crunchyroll does a VIP event and then they'll book them as DJs. So it's like, why should we be dependent on cons and the industry to be able to play and perform? Like, we need to start putting together our own events and our own community, so that like artists could have their limelight, like can be able to play for an audience that appreciates them. So I'm like, yeah, I'm all about it. And then fast forward to quarantine, we're like, damn, like I still all right. So I put my credit card down for the Peerspace venue, and then I think Peerspace like shut down because I was like, hey, you know, can I get a refund? Like, it's illegal to have events, and then the ticketing system was like, you know, due to current events, you know, we're not answering support tickets until business starts again. So I'm like, dude, like I got a couple thousand just laying in this website that I don't even know it's gonna like exist after quarantine. Like, that sucks. So before the scheduled event, we did a test stream.
Okay, nice.
So the organization's called D.Kai. It's a
D.Kai.
portmanteau. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Raison d'etre, versus the French like reason for existence, reason for being, and then ikigai, like which is the Japanese like equivalent of like reason for being, where what the world needs, what you can be paid for, what you're good at, and what you love, like come together in this Venn diagram. So all of our goals about like community, like bringing up artists and independence, like making this sustainable like set of events, is our thing. So we tested it out, a live stream. We were on Twitch, and all hell's breaks loops. He's a DJ and a live visual artist. Nice. He was hosting us. Like, it went well, and then after all events were locked down, we're like, all right, we'll make an online virtual like event series. Okay. All these DJs were at home. You know, they could submit mixes to us. So the mixes are pre-recorded, but the visuals are live. A lot of people, you know, it's just like, okay, you know, the person's DJing, but what we bring to the table is that the DJs, the artists themselves, are in chat, like with the community. So the visuals are live. So we have the live portion, but then what's really cool is with the chats going off when people are like, I'm feeling this mix so hard. Like, the DJ could talk to you because they're not DJing. So each performer is like, it's kind of like movie commentary. So the director is like, all right, this is why I dropped this song in here. Like, oh, I'm really proud of this release. Like, it's really very intimate, like a listening party, but still has the event social feel. And so that's how we're trying to be different from other streams.
Oh, it's
That's
great.
fucking dope.
That would make the DJ like be more connected, and then in a sense, it's like you feel more attached to the artist.
Right. Like, artist interactions, like are number one thing. It's been amazing. Like, it makes me feel good. Like seeing these people having a space to hang out, because we can't hang out together, but we can hang out and listen to music together, right? And still be a community online.
Yeah, that's really cool, because one thing about me is that a lot of times it's like I would listen to a song and I'm really loving this song, but then it's like I don't know who the freak sang the song or who created the song, right? And it's like I become a fan of their art, but not a fan of them. And the way you're doing that as a kind of producer, that really makes the whole experience the better, because not only you're attached to the song or you love the song, but you have the chance to get connected to the artist as well. So that way you can pick their brains on basically how this art came to be. Yeah. That's dope.
That's so dope. Yeah. That's such a unique take on it, because kind of in that contrary to most of the online festivals, so to speak, that we're kind of seeing on in quarantine, are literally just kind of plug and play type thing. Like, okay, you're just watching me do like a live set and, you know, call it a day type thing. But how did you guys come up with the idea? Because that's so unique. Like, have you guys been monitoring like how other festivals are doing it, or like was this always the plan like from the get go?
There's been other events where people take event submissions. So the other people on the team, they're able to take their experience from DJing those type of events.
Yeah.
But as far as trying to figure out how to keep the community component going has been pretty organic. So in today's episode, which started 4 minutes ago, we started implementing like gift bags, like electronic gift bags. So
Nice.
you come in, you leave an email, you get some samples you could use in music making, like a flyer for the sponsors, and like information on where you could follow up on each of the artists, how you could listen to their mixes, and like our future events. So we're trying to slowly figure out the digital analog. The analog to digital like equivalents. Yeah. For each other. So let's say you go to a VIP event and you get like a gift bag. Well, now you could go to this event and get a gift bag.
Yeah,
like you had this other connection with us.
Yeah.
So like the artists get to show off their work, and maybe other artists could take these virtual products or like these samples, put in their art, and then like just push the community forward to being able to create and publish like more things.
Yeah,
That's
it
dope.
seems
So
like you're
definitely-
really cultivating like the community, and I feel like that's so. For instance, like one of the platforms you're using is Twitch, right? To stream it. So I feel like it's taking the Twitch, what everyone loves about Twitch into the festival scene versus what the festival scene is trying to bring, what the festival scene is known for, which is just live production, and then just using Twitch as a platform. You know what I mean? Because Twitch is so many different things other than just straight up showing it.
Yeah.
You know, the community component is like literally one of the reasons why, like, you know, they have like such engagement is because of that. And in legit, like you guys were actually able to figure that out. So fucking power to you, man, and shit. Like I feel bad for making you late to your own event. You know what I mean?
That was part of my stubbornness with the production value and trying to get a voice meter banana to work with a VR headset and a webcam and a USB mic. So that's on me.
Totally all good, dude.
Yeah.
All good.
Yeah.
And then I'll give you the links, and I really want to shout out like everyone involved, but I want to do it right.
Sure.
So I'll give you links, and then we could like paste that together.
Okay, cool beans. Yeah, I can throw it in. We'll throw it in the description. I can pop it up in screen however you want. But
Literally like brought along for the live event portion. So a lot of this stuff I haven't been able to help like the way it would like. I feel like I'm contributing as much, so I'm really like on here trying to push us to do what I can with my connections to help.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Like what we're doing now.
Yeah, hell yeah. And then
As soon as we go back to real life and have the real life party, then I could bring you guys in.
yeah,
That would
dude,
be great.
please. Yeah, and then again, anything we can do, kind of between myself, Marvin, and Kim, we'd love to do our part in helping promote or letting us know what we can do to kind of help with the cause, because it's such a great idea. Cool beans. Yeah, go ahead.
I actually wanna so something that just came up, right? And this is prior to the this is from the previous episode. And one of the reasons why I actually want you here is I actually want you to talk about everything HENTAICON.
Oh shit!
So if there's
oh boy,
I
told you he'd bring
Andy,
it up.
did you
I
find
told
the
you.
video? Find the video.
I haven't found it yet. Lance is coming through at 5, so
Right.
I'm gonna dig through his phone myself, but I haven't found it yet.
So, future Anthony here. It's been a couple weeks since the shooting of this. Long story short, the audio editing was freaking insane, and myself and Lance had to dig through his archive of all of his vlog footage from HENTAICON. But we ended up finding it, and so I'm actually about to include that clip right here. This is an exclusive clip of an all-hands meeting on day 0 or day 1 of HENTAICON. which doesn't exist anywhere else. Lance was barely able to capture this video, so shout out to Lance for capturing this.
I look forward to having a good convention. And while we're all here, I want to make one very special note. Please give a super round of applause to Richie sitting right over there. Without him, this con would not be possible. It is still your idea, your baby, yeah? Well, kind of. Anyway, with that, let's all have a good HENTAICON.
Anthony actually kind of gave me his take in HENTAICON. But at least everything that transpired and then the drama that came with it. But it seems like you were a part of an even bigger problem. And I'm actually genuinely curious as how you guys kind of gone around that, because HENTAICON to me was just like this amazing convention, right? And like I want you to get into the idea, or rather I want you to get to why it did not materialize the following year.
I left. I left, so I don't know. Like, from what's been floating around, it seems like I know very little. And then like for my own sanity, I was like, I don't want to know, because I'm just gonna get disappointed. I was gonna be like, wow, I could have prevented this. Like as soon as they said that, oh, we lost all the programming like information and cons in a week, I'm like, you guys are weak, dude. Like, pull 3 all-nighters, reconstruct the fucking programming guide. Like, just fucking do it, dude. Like the show should have still gone on. But I think there was like other things like financially that was going on, because they did like 0 refunds. And then what's it called? Grotex. So Grotex, it was a couple months later, and I emailed them. It's like, hey, this event's canceled. No one's getting refunds. Like, is there anything you can do, or should I tell my friends to file chargebacks? And Grotex was like, we had no idea they were canceled. No one told us. So if HENTAICON is saying Grotex fucked them over, and Grotex is like, HENTAICON ghosted us, they're just there's plot holes here.
Hold on. I'm like curious. Who's Grotex?
Grotex is their ticketing vendor. So if you buy a badge, if you buy a badge, they handle the money, and then they're the database of all like the badge names and everything. So even if that database was corrupted, you could generally reconstruct things by like, hey, send us your email confirmation. For your badge. I mean, you're gonna get some people that are gonna try to like Photoshop it, but you could reasonably, with a low loss percentage, keep the event going. So that's why I'm like, in my mind, I thought of ways around these problems, and they canceled the event. I'm like, that's just weak.
Right. All right. Cool. So I mean, like, all right.
Well,
so
even then, because I personally know the argument that they lost the database.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Hold on. I'm like, since I'm the HENTAICON fan here, and like I genuinely want to know what happened behind the scene. I'm happy that you guys are talking about it, but I feel like you guys are talking about it in the middle already, and I want to know the start leading to where you guys are now, and then towards the end of it.
Yeah, I feel like that was kind of where Marvin's question was going, which was, well, I know you left and everything, but why did you even leave in the first place?
Right. So it's like, why did you leave? Like, how did that came to be? And like, what was the rather, like, everyone I guess wants to know why such a successful con ended up freaking flopping on their second year when they had so much potential to be another big thing in SoCal.
Such a good question.
TLDR, I was promised $10,000 and I received
fuck you. Don't say TLDR, right? Do the whole thing. We got the entire time.
Well, okay, so the conversation
here's what I was thinking. Yeah, I was talking to Anthony about this earlier. Like, we should just drop hints all the way until October, and on HENTAICON's anniversary, like, I'm gonna have like a timeline. I'll have like a corkboard. I'll have pictures.
like an FBI.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna do all that shit for you.
Hey, I'm kind of down, to be honest. And honestly, Marvin, you're kind of shit out of luck because that's how we're gonna do it. Honestly, I'm on board with it.
like a full blown scale from beginning to end, and
Yeah,
just
exactly.
like completely tell the story.
Here's the
But
date I
I'm-
was contacted.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
Bro, we're
Alright, so-
we're gonna go full Alex Jones on you, bro. I
Alright,
promise you.
alright. In that case, I'll have the TLDR, and then
Yeah.
you guys can do a full blown presentation on the second or the supposed third annual anniversary
Yeah.
or third anniversary of HENTAICON.
Well,
So
I mean,
right
dude,
now,
here's my thing. Definitely don't let us stop you from asking, because me and Richie, we're eating this shit up. Like, we're like, yeah, hell yeah, we know you want to know, but like, you know,
yeah,
we're only
dude,
gonna
I'm
give
so
you this
fucking
much.
curious. I'm like, honestly, like it had so much potential. Like I've never been so impressed by beginning con and like
Yeah.
just how everything was presented. And
Thank
like
you.
I was genuinely excited to
Go to the next year.
go to the next year. I said I was planning everything out. I was gonna get a hotel. I was gonna get like badges, and then obviously like throw parties too, because you know it's just like convention is just like right there.
Yeah.
But it's just with. I mean, I knew there were things going on based on what Anthony was hinting, but since I knew Anthony, I talked to Anthony, but I haven't gotten Karen's full details yet.
Oh boy.
And, yeah, Anthony's detail aren't even full yet. But
No.
it's like I knew leading up to HENTAICON that there was already problems. So maybe collectively, I want to know everything what's going on. Like even if you guys can just give me hints, like hopefully like I can like slowly piece it out until to the point where it's like once you guys present it, it's like it's fully kind of connected. So like the reason why I'm so passionate about this is because I'm genuinely curious. I'm just like, what the fuck goes on behind the scene, and like why is it such a
Like it was such a shit show. Okay.
yeah.
I have to ask this, Marvin, as one of the OGs in HENTAICON, would you consider yourself a loyal HENTAICON customer? Like, because you have all the right symptoms. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would have been like, because the thing is that it would have been so. Because the thing, I work with a lot of models, right? I work with a lot of models who are very much into the risque side of cosplay, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about it is that HENTAICON would have been like the perfect platform for all of them, and it would have been a perfect platform.
Thank you.
Yeah, for not just these models, but for everyone who wants to create hentai, right?
Yeah.
And it would have and it would have been like, what the heck? This is the place where you can go freaking indulge yourself and no one will judge you because everyone is indulging in it too.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
And I'm not saying
You
that
get
in like a very negative way, in a sense that like you just want people to basically get addicted to it more, blah blah blah. No, it's just like
you get it.
It's just like
Get
a
it.
culture war within conventions where it's like, oh, we're family friendly, but our dance is sponsored by Cosplay Deviants. And it's like, kind of dissonance there. So it's like you have this one event. You could express yourself in these ways without judgment because the expectation is there's no 5-year-olds. There's no babysitting.
21, 21 plus.
We'll treat each other like adults,
Right.
like
So
with maturity.
Mm-hmm. And there was that, and there was definitely like in my head, I'm just like I remember talking to you, Richie. I'm just like, yeah, we're not sure whether I was very much hesitant to have my models be guests for your conventions.
Oh,
because,
I wanted them. Trust me.
because in my head, I'm just like, fuck. I'm not sure whether this is gonna be a complete shit show. Like I didn't know whether it's gonna be like full on like.
That's the hump of the first year. You never know what you're getting with the product. Yeah.
But that's the thing, and we didn't want to be like I know I had your I was confident with you guys in a sense, like in building up
Thank you.
a convention, right? That's fine. But the thing is that I know you guys from a freaking personal level too, and you guys brought ratchetness to the fucking table too. So in my head, I'm just like, okay, this is a really this is going to be an organized con because Anthony's gonna be there, you're gonna be there, and Karen's gonna be there. But I'm not sure whether it's gonna be organized ratchetness or organize an actual legit con. So that was my main concern. So in my head, I'm like, okay, we'll see how it goes. And then me and Misotogi, we end up going, right?
Yeah,
and it's like when we first went in there, I was like, holy shit! Like I was genuinely impressed. Like again, I was talking on like previous podcast how like the moment you come in, like you were hit right away with like this is HENTAICON. Like
this
you're
is
gonna see a lot of this, right? The moment you entered, right, it's like full nude Shibari. I'm like, perfect. That's like classy as shit. Like it just sets up the mood and sets up the tone, right? And then you just go in, and then there's just a bunch of stuff that are just very appealing, and I'm just like, you just felt like, okay, I can finally express certain things without being judged. Yeah. So going back to it is that, what the fuck? Why is such a good con like showed so much promise and then suddenly just boom, like not even like a freaking serious explanation on why it fell apart. Like there was no kind of public announcement, right? They just kind of like went dark, and
it was an
so
Instagram post. Yeah,
but it wasn't. Yeah, I mean, like that's the thing. There was an Instagram post, and I didn't even see it.
Yeah.
God, I'm like so passionate about this topic.
This is
right
good.
Let me counter. Let me counter with another question. Why did this corporate entity decide to throw Yaoi Expo and try to fill in for YaoiCon and still have Anime California and still have HENTAICON? No, that's part of it. Like this organization really stretched themselves thin, got too ambitious, and kind of like flamed out. Is the way I'm looking at it.
Oh shoot!
Okay. Yeah. So speaking of this, like power vacuum or like this emptiness in this space. So on top of not knowing what cons are going to come back and survive skipping a year, why don't we bring it back? Why don't we have Soju Bomb? So Anthony was telling me how about you guys want to do like this lit ass party to celebrate being able to hug your friends again, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, if you guys gonna go all out and get a suite at the Palms with an elevator and 3 floors and an infinity pool, use that as a launch party for an actual Soju Bomb con, since you all were
right. No, I mean like I mean like that's a whole different project.
I can. Okay, yeah. This is you're bringing out some deep closeted ambitions here. You know what I mean? Like, okay,
this was on the agenda. We didn't go over it yet. We got sidetracked by it.
Yeah,
so I'm keeping you on schedule.
No. It's no. It's
like this isn't part like what I wanted to ask, like in regards to like basically what happened with HENTAICON. This is like because I'm genuinely like curious on why, and like I know that these two guys don't want to talk about a lot of things like in this podcast, but I'm doing my best to just squeeze out every single detail on them just to get clarification for everyone involved. And like there was a lot of disappointed people. Like I was genuinely disappointed. As of right now, I may not get my answer, but I'm really, really wanting, like in the future, or both
the majority of the answer. As far as the second year not existing, I really believe that having all these cons and they probably didn't do the sales they're expecting, like created this burden where, okay, something really bad happened, supposedly, allegedly, with HENTAICON's like database and sales that they felt it was unrecoverable. So even if that part's like not true, then maybe they just lost a shit ton of money on these other events.
Yeah, and had to find a way to politically get out of it. Yeah, because I mean, so I was in the group chat for Yaoi Expo, and not to say too much, but and obviously for the people that went, like they saw, you know what I mean. So if you went to Yaoi Expo 2019. obviously we were trying to make it like, I would say we, because I wasn't personally involved in the project, but the group was very ambitious with it and wanted to try to achieve HENTAICON results, but weren't able to. And I feel like that was a big hit. I would say morale-wise on the team, as well as kind of financially, because there was a lot at stake. You know what I mean? For every one of the events, like each event was designed to compound on top of each other. So with the success of HENTAICON coming out of 2018, like it was designed, like, and me and Richie were talking about that shit for months. We're like, dude, like we're gonna freaking whatever money that they lost on the other events, like we're gonna make up for it with our own badass event, which, between the three events, I feel like we kind of killed it, just to say the least. But yeah, no, I feel like we can really, okay. So I don't know about you guys, but I want to milk the shit out of this. I want to turn this into a series.
So that's the thing. It's like, maybe it's like the thing is that what I'm genuinely curious about is that it seems like there was underlying problems from a different con because of this company, and then it kind of just it showed, or rather because of that con's problem, HENTAICON ended up being affected by it, right?
Yeah, yes and no, because there was okay, so there was company related problems, and then there was HENTAICON specific problems.
Right.
And so going into
that's
year
what I
two,
want to know. What are the company specific problems, and then what are the HENTAICON problems? Because as of right now, it's just really, really vague kind of explanation. I'm like, all right, cool. There's problems with the structure of the company and how they were handling each of the cons, and then when it should have been handled separately on its own. Right?
Yeah, correct.
But I guess I don't want to get, as of right now, it's fine. Like, perhaps
you're gonna have to live with it, bro.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to live with it.
Yeah, I still need to organize all my thoughts too.
Right.
Yeah, true. Same. Because we want to come correct too, because there was a lot of very fine details. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So
maybe it was the wrong time for me to bring it up, but I hope that this is like, for sure, this topic is gonna come back again, and like, I hope like that each time we talk about it, there's more and more clarity towards it.
There you go. Good. Think of it like the Oregon Trail. You know what I mean? Like this was the instance where like one of the wheels broke. You know what I mean? So it's all right, we're still trying to get to Oregon. It's just, one of the cattle got sick or one of the wheels broke. So this is that instance. Yeah. So and again, I know, Marvin, you're extremely passionate about this, but for anyone that's watching and listening, if this is a topic that you want us to like talk more about, like let us know. Yeah. Because like literally between myself, Karen, and Richie, we have stories for days on this. We want to be very conscious and very careful of how we approach it, because obviously there's a lot of politics involved. But that also shouldn't deter you from saying like, oh, maybe they won't come out with the juicy details. We can say juicy ass details. Trust. Between myself, Richie, and Karen will probably let loose like a cannon. Richie's the best medium between myself and Karen, and I'm probably the most politically correct out of the three.
But yeah, at the same time, I don't want you guys to get in trouble over it. Like, I know there's probably like, I'm not sure if there's NDA contracts or agreements.
Listen, if a con is willing to forfeit freaking giving refunds, then as far as like legal stuff goes, I'm not necessarily that worried.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So
my main thing would be I would want to make an attempt to buy HENTAICON. So I wouldn't want to piss off people to the point where it's like, oh, they won't sell it to us.
So again,
there's that consideration.
So to Marvin's point, what this is, it's an Alex Jones. It's a truth-seeking journey. You know what I mean? We're trying to uncover the truth.
I hate you guys so much.
For loyal HENTAICON customers such as yourself, get full closure, right? Like it feels like breaking up with like the hot girl that you thought was into you, but then she just straight ghosted you, right?
I can't
that's what it feels like.
I can't believe we just went on like a 20-minute segment and then I didn't get my answers. I felt all that down.
Sorry, buddy. We'll get there.
More
we'll get
than
there.
what the general public knows.
Yeah, that's true.
Absolutely, but for sure. like
Cool
again,
beans.
this is not gonna be the last time. I'm always gonna be forcing this, right?
Oh, of
And
course,
then
please do.
At the same time, so
Nice.
because of this, and it goes to show that you guys basically know a lot of like details on how HENTAICON was run, and I want to go actually since Richie's here, I want to go to a different segment where it's like, Richie, we were talking about hosting this giant ass party.
Oh my god.
For like after the convention, right? And like basically like kick off this party when
post quarantine,
post quarantine party, and it's like we actually would want to, or at least I know, or I want to get your thoughts on what would be, what would you be, or rather, can you advise us what to add on this after, like this post-con party, in order for it to be more
Hang on, let me get a
lit?
pen real quick. Let me get a pen.
Because you're the guy who always have like some freaking crazy ass ideas, and like
here,
it never
baby.
seems to fail.
All right, right here.
But you're already talking about like what, like palms with infinity pool? What? Like what?
Have you ever been to the Palms, Marvin?
I have been, but I didn't experience the infinity pool. I didn't know that there was an infinity pool there.
Can you paint the picture, Richie?
Yeah. Well, okay. Wait. Can you bring it up?
Yeah, hang on a sec. So Palms. Yeah.
Yeah.
give us some
So
context.
what are these CES after parties? Like I ended up in this suite, and I think at the time it was called like a Hugh Hefner suite, but then the Palms was bought out from Playboy. I forgot. Do you remember what company? So yeah, the Palms kind of like rebranded and all that.
Yeah.
So
Oh, it was Station Casinos that bought them out. Station
Casinos.
Whoa.
Yeah. So on the first floor of this hotel suite is a pool that shows you the view of Vegas, like that, like on the outside.
Jeez, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. And okay, this is the year where I did a like my first Jello bathtub suite. Shoot was at this hotel suite. I could take photos there. Yeah.
That's fucking epic.
Yeah, it was like this technology release party. So it has a pool like this, and then there's an elevator inside the hotel suite because there's 3 floors, and then there's like there's a room with a massage table. I remember that just because of being like, damn, like it's one thing to have a hotel suite with like multiple rooms, but you have a dedicated room with a massage table. Like you get spa treatments in your suite.
Dang,
Like the masseuse doesn't have to bring the table or anything. Like you have your spa and your pool in your hotel suite. Yeah.
All in one, baby.
So that
You can
pool
quarantine in there.
yeah. So that pool patio area is the size of a hotel suite itself.
Yeah.
So like this is how large of a room we're talking about.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. So what I'm hoping is that these hotels have been closed for so long, and they're not making money. So you guys can swoop in on the first like travelers on a good deal.
Yeah.
To get like one of the best suites to throw a party.
So being in the hospitality industry, I promise you right now, sales folks in almost every major hotel are looking for people that want to book this shit. If anything, they'd be smart to market it that way if I were them.
Yeah.
If I was a hotel salesperson, I'd be hitting up fucking college frats. I'd be hitting up like, you know what I mean? Like all my connects in the after party scene. Cause that would definitely be the move. So yeah, that's kind of what inspired that conversation, which was, after the last podcast, myself, Marvin, and Kim were talking about what life is like with no cuddles, and how bad Marvin is slowly dying inside. So we're like,
a good reputation of being.
Oh, absolutely, he definitely does. His hugs
Thanks,
are
Richie.
fucking phenomenal, dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So talking about kind of missing cuddles and everything, we're like, dude, you know what would be sick? Because obviously, and again, I don't even think it's just Marvin exclusively. Like, motherfucker, I miss hugs too. You know what I mean? Like I miss social interaction too. So I have a feeling that once things start slowly getting back to normal, where like, gatherings can start occurring, I have a feeling, and this is just a gut feeling, same gut feeling that I had about HENTAICON. trend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That people there's going to be an influx in people wanting to have like gatherings somehow.
Oh, for sure.
So,
yeah.
and that was kind of the degree of what we're talking about. And I brought it up to Richie as just like a joke / idea / hey, if you were to do something like this, how would you do it? And it just stemmed like a 2-hour conversation of like, dude, like this could definitely be the start of something. And it was mainly because of a conversation myself, Marvin, and Kim had about kind of brainstorming / game planning some type of event. So yeah, for full context.
I'm definitely like interested in possibly hosting and sponsoring an event like that.
Hell yeah.
I'm so down. Because I've been quarantined for a while, right? And I'm probably going to be quarantined until the 15th. And even then, I feel like there's still going to be a lot of stigma in large gatherings, and that's fine. But I'm pretty sure like that what that is this will just give us time to prep more, so that way by the time the stigma goes down, we're fully ready to like throw this.
Yeah. Going into it real quick, just before we wrap up, because again, I just want to be super cognizant of Richie's time. He literally has an event going on right now as we speak. So to kind of wrap everything up, Marvin, I apologize sincerely that you didn't get your answers. It feels like the hand job of explanations. Like I'm sure you're not necessarily pleased, but just know the good stuff is coming. I definitely want to be able to sit down with Richie a little bit more to kind of help gather our thoughts and come up with concise explanations of kind of our side of the things. So if that's okay with you. And then going into the cons and events, like, man, like we're talking about so much good shit right now. It kind of sucks that Kim's not here. I really wish he was here with us because I know this would be like some really solid stuff. But yeah, as far as planning the post-quarantine life event, like I feel like that's a discussion we can further have. If Richie, if we'd be honored to have you back on sometime. I know obviously you're very busy with your school and work schedule, so you definitely want to be mindful of that. But yeah, would you be down to come back?
Schedule it out. Like we needed to do the entire segment with Kim, and then I wanted to shout out you guys, but I don't feel right gassing you guys up and your partner's not here. It's not like I love Kim less, just because he's not here. So that can wait.
Yeah, Kim had a great time last night. So
yeah, he messaged us.
Yeah, the thing about it is that if we decide to have him on, he'd probably be sad that he won't project the same kind of energy.
Yeah.
Because he borrowed the happiness from last night. But yeah, for sure, like this is not going to be the last time. Hopefully not the last time for you to be here.
I'd love to actually be there in Vegas.
Oh yeah, God, for sure. You have to. We have to do this in the studio and all the Sojus all around. If it's okay for you to come back, would love to have you back.
Yes, please. We'd love to have you back. I mean, honestly, we've put in so much time into your straight up 2080 camera setup and everything. Like you're literally coming at us from the future. So I don't know, maybe like a small correspondent spot, letting us know how life is out there in the future. All right, cool. So to close this out, just before we shout our stuff out, Richie, where can people follow you personally? What's your social media? How can people reach out to you if they have any other questions or if they want to party with you?
Rich and Creamy, or be Rich and Creamy all over the internet. So my Twitter is Rich and Creamy. I wonder if you could see, and then I'll do it for this camera. I have all my glasses.
Yeah.
Hit me up on Twitter.
So the thing is, I 100% empathize with the fact that you're sharing with your glasses, but we're not in person. But appreciate the attempt.
It's not the same, but
it's not the same.
That's why I paid extra for that. and then awesome. D.Kai, we're streaming on All Hell Breaks Loops, and then all our socials and contact. We'll get that in post.
Sure. Yeah.
Make sure I don't give you any typos or anything like that.
Cool beans. And we'll definitely make sure to include that. All of mine, Marvin's, and Kim's socials is going to be in the description. Follow us at Soju Bomb TV or Soju/Bomb all across the internet, so you can find us there. And also too, please let us know if you enjoyed this. This was such a great
my God.
experience for me personally because one, we're not only honored with our first guest, we're honored with one of my favorite people in the whole world. And it was definitely such a good conversation. I don't know if there's anything you have to say about that, Marvin.
Oh no, I'm generally happy that Richie decided to come in.
Yeah.
Especially as our first guest.
Yeah.
Really love the fact that I got to know Richie a little bit more.
Yeah.
Not just in a party standpoint, because I know plenty of him in that sense.
Yeah.
But for sure in a more personal way. And Richie, hopefully you're back more because we'd love to get you into the whole idea of just what can you add in our already crazy plans.
Yeah. If there's anything I've ever known Richie for, it's making good plans fucking great. So anyways, that's it for us. We appreciate you guys so much for watching. Please follow us, give us a like, subscribe, all the above. Thanks so much, guys. Peace out.